Today is Monday, Parashat Tzav. Also, this coming Shabbat is called Shabbat Hagadol, the Great Shabbat. Why is it called Shabbat Hagadol, the Great Shabbat? Well, the Shabbat that precedes Pesach is called Shabbat Hagadol for more than one reason. One reason that is brought is typically on that Shabbat, the Rav of the Keilah gives a very long drasha, Gadol meaning in Hebrew big or great or long, and since the drasha is very long, we call it Shabbat Hagadol. However, when the day that precedes Pesach is Shabbat, just like this year, that drasha is moved to the Shabbat before, which we did in our synagogue last Shabbat. It's not a reason that is brought. There is a midrash that says Sunday has Monday as a pair, Tuesday has Wednesday, Thursday has Friday, and Shabbat said, what about me? I need a pair to another day. Well, Hashem told her, the Shabbat, you're going to have a pair, and there was someone that is very important, the Jewish people, and when Jewish people became a nation when they came out from Egypt, so that Shabbat, just as they were getting ready to go out from Egypt, Shabbat gained a partner in the Jewish people, and that's why it's called Shabbat Hagadol. But there is another reason. Since on that Shabbat we became obligated on certain mitzvot, this is the mitzvah of Korban Pesach, and we were just about ready to go out from Egypt, just like when a young child becomes 13 and becomes obligated to follow the mitzvot, he's called then a Gadol. Also now the Jewish people are called now Hagadol, and therefore it's a Shabbat Hagadol. When we gained that status of a nation obligated to follow the mitzvot. Until then, we were a family of tribes, but now we became a nation. We were giving the mitzvah of Kiddush HaChodesh, the mitzvah of Pesach, Korban Pesach, and that happened on that Shabbat. That was the 10th of Nisan, because that year, the day of Pesach was Thursday, and the day of the 10th of Nisan is when they were given that mitzvah to take a lamb, tie it to their bedpost, and that mitzvah is one of the first mitzvot, one of the two first mitzvot they were given, and therefore Shabbat Hagadol. There's another reason why it's called Shabbat Hagadol also, is because on that Shabbat, the Jewish people took the lamb that was the god of the Egyptians. It was in the month of Arius, the month of Nisan. The Egyptians had that as their god. He was the symbol of their god, and they took their god and they tied it to the bedpost. And they were asked by Egyptians, what are you doing? And they said, we're going to slaughter the lamb as a korban, as a sacrifice to Hashem. And the great miracle was that even though these were the Jewish people who were slaves for decades in Egypt, their Egyptians, their taskmasters, quote unquote, of the past, were just passive in a way because they were afraid after all the plagues that happened to do any harm to the Jewish people. So there was a great miracle, and therefore that's why it's called Shabbat Hagadol. It's a question that is brought by some, our sages, if that's Shabbat Hagadol, because the miracle was that they were not harmed, but it took another 4 days before they came to Yetziat Mitzrayim. So there should be a few days that are great days, Yamim Agdolim, not just Shabbat. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, until they left Egypt. And the reason that is brought for this, because the Pasuk says, Mishchu ukchu lachem. What is Mishchu ukchu lachem? Pull and take for you that lamb. Pull, according to some opinions of our sages, is pull yourself from Avodah Zarah. Because there is a midrash that says that when the parting of the Red Sea took place, the angel said the Egyptians worshipped Avodah Zarah, but the Jewish people had arrived to such a low level in Mitzrayim of Tumah that they also worshipped Avodah Zarah. So that Shabbat, when they made that great decision in terms of pulling themselves from Avodah Zarah and taking that lamb to slaughter it, it was the day that symbolized the tshuva of the Jewish people, And that deserved the title of Gadol, Shabbat Hagadol, because of that action that they took. And in a sense, if we're already on the subject of Teshuvah, when we get rid of the Chametz, Chametz symbolizes haughtiness. It symbolizes also Yetzer Hara. It symbolizes arrogance. It symbolizes negative emotions. It symbolizes anger. Those things are the opposite of Yetzer HaTov. And if we think about Yetzer HaTov being symbolized by the matzah, the Yetzer Hara is symbolized by the Chametz. And that's what we do. We get rid of the Chametz. And in a sense, it's a little bit parallel to the concept of doing Teshuvah and training ourselves to clean ourselves of any haughtiness or any negative emotions, any anger, and that type of thing. So on that Shabbat, when Mishchu Kulachem, they pulled themselves out of the worshipping of Avodah Zarah and taking that lamb to then make it as a sacrifice to Hashem, deserve the title of Shabbat Hagadol. And finally, one more reason. The Haftarah that we're going to read on Shabbat Hagadol, Ve'arva Hashem Inchat Yehuda v'Yerushalayim, and at the end of the Haftarah, it speaks about Eliyahu Hanavi coming Lifnei Yom Hagadol ve'Hanora, before the great day when the redemption will be again, just like in Nisan we were redeemed from Egypt, the Geula Shlema, the complete redemption and the building of Bet HaMikdash will take place, and the announcement will come, and Eliyahu Hanavi Lifnei Yom Hagadol ve'Hanora. So the word Gadol appears at the end of the Haftarah, and therefore the Shabbat Hagadol, sometimes we have the Shabbat bearing the name that is mentioned in the Haftarah. This will be one example. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.